Everybody has past lives.
Does everyone have past lives? What if you're the first life? Hi, I'm Ed.
And I'm Liv, and we're your Meta PsycKicks.
So today, we're doing another Paranormal Stories of a Medium, and we do this monthly, so make sure to check out our playlist. But we are going to be talking about if reincarnation is real.
I looked the other way.
And if you've been with us for a while, you know the answer to that, but we are going to get into it.
So, reincarnation is real. We talk about it in our first video and our first podcast, as well as other videos and other podcasts in different ways too. So check all those things out. But we're going to talk about the past lives that I've seen for myself recently, as well as Em, because we're twin flames.
But to put it in a brief state, we typically incarnate together because we are twin flames, so we balance each other.
So if you want to know about your past lives, I do not do past life readings yet. Because I feel like me being able to consecutively do past life readings for people is like being able to consecutively shoot 3-pointers, which I cannot do. If you're wondering if you reincarnate, probably. And if you don't believe that, that's cool too. Then you don't have to believe that. But Em just asked the question. She's like, well, what if no one's ever had a reincarnation and this is their first one?
Life. Wow.
I don't have anything to tell you on that because that has not happened to me yet, so I can't speak on it.
I really want to talk to a past life regression person and see if they've ever found someone without past lives.
That would be really spooky. So, the way reincarnation works in past lives is, yes, people reincarnate. You have a choice to reincarnate once you pass away or pass on. So you can either hang around in heaven. If you just want to hang out there and like talk to famous people or like drink tea on the seaside, then you can do that. Or you can be like, I want to raise my consciousness. And if you want to think about consciousness, I sometimes conceptualize consciousness as wisdom. It's like spiritual wisdom. Mm-hmm. So the reason we reincarnate is to have different experiences in different lives. Think of it as like a high school, like your high school career. You have to be well-rounded to get into college. So you have to be like super cool in science, but then you also need to like volunteer and you have to do all of these other extracurriculars that make you well-rounded. Think of reincarnation in each of your lives to make you more well-rounded as a spiritual being. So you have to live different lives, different scenarios to get not only sympathy, but empathy, spiritual empathy within the plane of existence that you decide to physically reincarnate in. So now we're gonna get into the past life stories. So excited. It's so freaking crazy, guys.
I can't believe she's getting past lives because they literally come to her like they are spirits.
Yeah. Because separation is an illusion, but separation is also a thing, which makes no freaking sense.
But you would think it'd be one spirit that just like switches, but it's
like, that would be scary. Like the thing with
that's
the
why
faces
I see it that way.
That's
the face stealer.
That's scary. Please don't show me like that.
I'm looking for a spirit named Ko.
Okay. So, this is the past life story of the first, I think she was the first past life that I saw.
Yes, because you just started randomly getting it because I was like, past life. And she's like, wait, past lives?
I can talk about this now because you're thinking about it. Let me use your clairs to manipulate
about time.
So I was driving in my car one day, a couple days after Emily had been filtering into my ear that past lives could possibly be spirit guides, and I was like, don't tell me that load of malarkey. And then I'm sitting in my car talking to my spirit guides, and then all of a sudden this spirit walked up while I'm driving in my car because I'm a mental medium. This woman walks up and she's wearing like a calico dress. She has long dark brown hair and brown eyes and tan skin, and I'm like, okay, who are you? And she's very nice, like a very calming, healing energy. And when I asked her, like, who are you? She looks at me and smiles and she goes, I am you. And I was like,
what?
No, you're not. Who are you?
Oh, gosh.
And she goes, I am you. In addition to Em saying things like your spirit guides can be past lives, she also said that I say a lot of things. Like, her favorite quote is, "Shit my medium friend says," because there's a lot of things that I guess come out of my mouth that I think
are normal for you, but they are not normal for neurotypical people.
And she literally explained it to me. She's like, "I am you, and the reason you do this to M and M thinks it's funny and says it to you all the time is because you did do this. That's why you have all of this residual knowledge, because I am the past life that's helping give it to you. Because when we lived, we were a doula, we were a medicine woman, we were a psychic, we helped people and with energy and all of this other stuff." And I was like, what?
I'm crazy.
So I pushed her away for a really long time, and I was like, this is not
real.
okay, it's not real,
happening.
This isn't happening, it's weird. And since then
Emily talked to her as well, which she's a tarot reader. Check out that video.
Yeah, and our tarot versus psychic medium.
But she's a lot of energy.
Yeah, which makes sense because
yeah,
usually like she was like a medicine woman,
it's like
doula
painful
type thing
when she comes in.
Really?
That's how I know it's her. Yeah.
You get like in pain? I get. She has a lot of golden light around her too.
It's like pain right here.
That's so weird. I don't get that.
Yeah.
So that is one of the past lives that I've had that explains why I randomly talk about normal psychic medium stuff as if everyone experiences it, because I did, but in a different life, and now it's a little bit different because I'm me, not her. Em and I found out that we're twin flames, which blows my mind because Em and I have been friends for a really, really long time, but I always explain to people that she is basically the opposite of me, but also the same as me.
Like, we live the same lives, same trauma, whatever, but also our personalities are opposite from each other.
My favorite thing is I like to describe you as Bella from Twilight to people. Where, like,
so rude.
I will say a joke that's hilarious because I just have a funny hat on at all times. And Emily will dead ass look at me after I tell her the funniest joke in the history of the universe, and she's like,
"It's not funny.
That's hilarious.
You have to explain it.
That is the funniest
thing.
Let
me ruin your joke.
I've ever said, or that you've ever said." And then she'll be like, "Also, that's what your mom said."
That's what your mom said.
But I'm just like, "Hey, yeah, hoo, ha, he, ha, he," and she's just.
I am the child of darkness, and this is why our child lives. So the internet tells you that your twin flame is literally a part of your soul, so you have one soul that splits and then incarnates together. But that's not true, because it's actually a soul that balances you. So it's a yin and yang type thing. So it's not the same soul split in two, it's two different souls that balance each other. And that's why we incarnate together, because the universe likes balance.
Twi and La, your moon and ocean, have always circled each other in an eternal dance. They balance each other, push and pull, life and death, good and evil, yin and yang.
And I thought that I would have to be the same person, like I had to have things in common and not be opposites. But it makes more sense that Liv is my twin flame because she's my opposite, the balance.
And I think it's funny that before we learned this, I literally told everybody that M is my opposite, but also my compliment.
Which is weird. If you guys do know any of your past life stories, if you've gone to like a past life regression, go to our website, go to the extras tab, and share your story with us, and you will have a chance to be featured in one of our future YouTube videos and podcasts for a listener's story. We are very interested.
I gotta know.
Because we love past life stories, and we really want to do a past life regression.
Yeah.
So we will have that linked in the description below, so you can go and share your story with us.
Please. So I think this was the first past life that I ever talked to. Because I knew about it, I just didn't say anything. Because I didn't know what it was entirely.
Yeah, when we started our business, I was essentially like, I really want to do past life regression. And I feel like my past life is this. Because in my life now, I'm in like what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like I'm in a very privileged place, but I have a lot of trauma, which people don't think would go together. So I think that my past life would be someone who is oppressed by someone who is in the same position I'm in now, so has a lot of privilege. So I would generally think that the people with privilege don't have trauma. So that's why I need to get balanced in this life and know that I have trauma and I am still privileged. And when I was telling Liv that, she started getting, this medieval boy? That's when you started seeing him?
Yeah, he was like 12 or 13. He lived during like the medieval times. I feel like he worked for a family that was privileged and he was oppressed by them. Hence why he had the negative connotation that people that are privileged or have money don't have trauma or sad, negative emotional feelings.
You didn't tell me that part.
No?
Yeah, no, you just told me that his family treated him poorly because he was more feminine and that wasn't accepted at that time.
Well, that's what we found out with M too. It's both.
But yeah, but that's why I like to read tarot cards, is because he's from the medieval times and that's when that became popular. He is super, super shy and quiet. He's literally boy version of me.
And every time I get like a vision of him, he's kind of like Pinocchio's dad. Like a very like a toy maker, tinkerer, built things out of like wood and metal.
Him
yeah.
About his toy thing.
Yeah, he like made things.
Gotcha.
Whether it was like clocks or wooden things or metal things. I don't think he was like a blacksmith. No, but he was like he made goods out of wood and stuff like that. And then the way our twin flame worked in that life. So when I was the doula in South America, M was my mom, twin flames. Then in the Renaissance era, when M was the Mr. Pinocchio guy, I was his best friend who was his coworker at work. So we worked together and we were best friends, and I helped you through all of that stuff. So, like,
my name is James and you were Thomas.
Maybe that's why I like the name Tom so much.
Me too. Because I'm like, if I have a boy, I want his name to be Tommy.
Me too. I've always thought about that name if I had a boy, that his name would be Thomas and I would call him Tom.
It's weird. But what's interesting is I didn't understand at first when you were telling me about this past life how he relates to me, because usually the past lives that come through are the ones that are able to help you within this life. And the reason why he's come through, they've told me, is because
when she says they, it's her spirit guides.
Yeah, sorry. He's like around me because I've had a very similar life to him, but it's interesting that he was oppressed by someone in privilege and I am living his life in a privileged position. That's why he's here, because he's helping me figure out my life, because it is essentially his life in a different time.
And he was very feminine, but he was a male, but now Emily is a girl. But she's slightly not as feminine in a girl, which makes so much sense.
Yeah. I'm a tomboy.
Yeah. And then the last super ooky spooky one that makes no sense to me, that we're going to talk way more in depth about in our podcast, is that I was a mermaid.
And it was an orca.
Yeah, and her twin flame reincarnation in that life was an orca, which makes a lot of sense. And she was friends with an Inuit man in northern Canada area, because that's where she was when she was an orca.
But since I was an orca, because they have that like weird supersonic hearing type things, sonar, I in this life now have very strong clairaudience.
Which makes so much sense.
But what's funny is I can't swim for shit, and people on our TikTok live are like, it's probably because you're not used to having arms and legs.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
So when I asked my spirit guides, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I was a mermaid? Does that mean that I had like a pretty pink tail and like a cute little like
the prettiest mermaid ever?
And they were like, that is not what mermaids look like. They are not what you think that they are as a freaking puny human. So they showed me the thing from like Harry Potter, like those weird pasty scary ones.
People.
But she's my friend too.
Only one.
That's what they look like?
That's as close as what they can show me with what I have as a base reference.
Got you.
Because spirit will show me things that have happened in my life or things that I've seen to explain things as well. So that's their explanation of something that I've seen to give me clarity.
So you had colored fins though.
Yeah, they're not white like the ones there, but they're not pretty. Like, The Little Mermaid.
Well, yeah, because you're a fish. But we both lived on Earth, so if you believe in mermaids, they're at the bottom of the ocean. What we were trying to get into in our TikTok live was that essentially the ocean would be similar to how things work on land. So things evolved from one organism to now being this complex organism of a human being. So why is that not happening in the oceans? So things are just evolving in a different manner because of their water. So why would there not be a humanoid type fish-like creature?
Definitely plausible.
Yeah, because the same thing happened on Earth, like on the land.
Like the way I like to explain it, because this blows my mind, did you guys know that the closest relative to whales that live on land are hippos? They literally are direct descendants from this same organism. One decided to be cool and to keep living on land and turned into a giant water dog thing. What do they call them? Angry somethings? What's the meme for hippos?
I don't know.
Murder cows. Murder what? And then the other ones decided to try their luck in the water and turned into things like dolphins and orcas, which literally blows my mind. So if there's like people, why can't there be people in the water too?
Yeah, because the evolution would happen in a very similar way.
Yeah. So anyways, it's plausible. You guys want more stories? Well, we're gonna have one next week, and we're gonna be covering divination tools, different divination tools. We've already done Ogham in our last video with Julie, and we've also done tarot with Tall M. So now we're gonna talk
and we talked about scrying mirrors.
We did talk about scrying mirrors in our crystal video.
So let's get a scrying mirror and try that out.
Did you see how fast I shut that down? Shut it
You didn't shut anything
down.
down.
Shut it down.
My bad. Shut it down.
Shut it down! That's it!
But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell, because in our next video, we are going to be going through all of the divination tools that we can find, because that is so interesting. I'm excited. And I'm also scared because divination tools can make portals. But anyways, while you
Find
guys
out if we actually learn you something or create a portal to another dimension.
But while you guys wait for that, make sure to check out these videos next.
Yes.
And go to our podcast so you can hear more about mermaids and fairies and dragons.
Because why would you not?
Ones. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
We are your Meta PsycKicks.
And my spirit guide says there are people that just incarnate as human beings.
And we have a theory about that.
Because she kind of validated it too.
Yeah, we think that people that reincarnate only as humans in their past lives are people that are known as
neurotypical.
Yes.
And then the neurodivergent people are the people who have past lives of different species.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because you would go through lives where you did not have ego. Whereas if you're neurotypical, you are very like seated in societal pressures and things like that. So you would understand it immediately when you were born. Whereas people with different past lives in different species struggle with that.